Thank you to TenTillDeath.
TenTillDeath stings!
Rojelio, TenTillDeath baddie wood.
Did TX2 actually repost our remix on TikTok? Yeah! Yeah!
TenTillDeath. Yeah, I present to you the one and only Rojelio Capone, aka TenTillDeath. Woo!
Hello again. Hello everybody. It is everybody's favorite goth BF. It is everybody's favorite goth. It is everybody's favorite goth BF. Whatever the frick. TenTillDeath. TenTillDeath. Tentil freaking death. TenTillDeath. TenTillDeath. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Oh wait, love y'all. Love everybody. So I know it's not much, but this is where our magic happens. Look at this. Look at everything we got here. This is where all of our filming, our live streams, everything, recording. Now, believe it or not, when I first started making music back, when I was fresh out of high school, I would literally get in my car and just drive to random parking lot to just record any and all music. I mean, there was times where one time I went to the mall to record and a literal mall security guard, pulled up on me and I had some explaining to do. There was another time on a back road where cops pulled up on me. Eventually, over the years, it went from me recording in parking lots late at night to eventually I was like, okay, we have to find a better way to record. Look at that. Who's that? Who's that? Who's that? It's Scully the skeleton. Wait, who's that? Oh, it's a TenTillDeath! I've talked about this time and time again, and I've talked about the renaissance into becoming this entity, this enigma called TenTillDeath.
I rebranded into TenTillDeath as it truly represented the true me after I went through a self-discovery mental health journey following my breakup.
Talked about it multiple times on my YouTube channel. You don't just start out as a baby bat from the womb, Usually you get influenced into it in one way or another, music, art, right? I remember it was back in 2022. Me and my ex-fiance at the time, we split ways. I made that decision. I thought I could handle something like that, right? I thought I could handle going back to living alone, to living a life without my ex-fiance at that time. I would come home and I would just feel like, dude, I literally have nothing fucking left in my life anymore. I'd lost fucking everything. I would just come home, lay down all day and just fucking start the ceiling now. I was just constantly angry. I had suicidal thoughts. I was self-harming. I remember turning back to, emo music and metal music. It helped ease the pain at that time. For months, I was just in pain. Months, I struggled with my alcohol addiction at the time. We'll take half a shot to you. Half a shot. I don't know, y'all. I'm so fucking drunk. It's not even funny. There's a while where, I was cutting myself. But it was because of that breakup where I decided to, explore my more darker creativities and eventually became the enigma known as TenTillDeath. The idea with this album originally started last year, right? In 2024, I tried to rap again. On my killer kill with young Will. And when I look back at me trying to rap again, I just couldn't do it, I just didn't have it in me. It felt forced, right? It wasn't the best of me. It wasn't the best that I could be. And it was a shame because, I'd look back at my older rap catalog and I would be, astonished by the lyricism, astonished by, the wordplay. And here I am, years later, I can't even, rap again, right? I gotta prove to them that I still got what it takes, that I'm still Rojelio Capone, that I'm still that same motherfucker, right? I have to prove myself. And I originally started making this album, and it goes all the way back to 2024. I wanted it to be a half rock, half rap album. That was the Symphony of Suffering album that I released. Some of the songs you hear on the Symphony of Suffering was on that original idea that I had for the current Phantom Peace album. What ended up happening is that original concept of the Symphony of Suffering, when I finished it, I didn't like the finished product, and I still didn't feel I was good enough at rapping, so I scrapped that. Finally, being able to record in the comfort of our own home. No more getting pulled over by cops anymore. I remember the first album, bringing the TenTillDeath character into the world. Trauma Ruined My Life album under my old stage name. And so, you know, here we are, all these years later, finally being able to record in the comfort of our own home. No, but just, wow, amazing, right? We even got the fucking Coraline poster over here. Working on that album, releasing that album, you know, it was very life-changing to me. Every emotion that I had felt, you know, following that breakup, I was able to pour into that album. And there's even a part on the album where I'm crying literally in the album, and what most people don't know is that's actually me crying in real life.
Why is it always about different things for me?
You know, it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. So this is one of the songs that we've been working on the album recently, called Who Wants to Fight Forever, inspired by the Queen classic, Who Wants to Live Forever, right? And you just check this out. Check this out. Just check this out. Check out these heavenly layered vocals that we did here. Just check this out. Oh, just about to play. It's about to play. Here we go. Here we go. Conception of this song is so weird because over like the span of a few weeks, I just kept hearing Queen's music just play throughout my fucking head. And when I was listening to the classic rock radio, that's all I would hear is fucking Queen. And I was like, one day I was like, you know what, let me just go back and listen to Queen again. And I remember one song Queen made that always resonated with me, called Who Wants to Live Forever. With the theme of the first side of this album being, you know, about the revolution, about how us, you know, the youth, we view things in this country, right? You know, it's basically an entire song about, hey man, really, who wants to fight forever? Why would you want to continue fighting? Like this, like, no, I don't want to fight anymore. You don't want to fucking fight anymore. And the song is literally a story about a young teenage girl who decides, you know, she's going to go and she's going to join a local protest movement. And boom, in the story, she gets shot. So then after I released the Symphony of Suffering album, I knew I wanted to do something different. And so this album, you know, it went through many forms. I heard Tyler, the Creator's Chromacopia album, and listening to that album literally reinvigorated my interest for rapping. Suddenly, my brain just started picking up rapping again, but this time it was different. We are back in the creativity room again, and our mic's currently on the fucking ground. It's literally fucking dead, y'all. It's literally, look at it, it's fucking dead. We're about to record our next song, Lie to Me, and this is gonna be a fucking punk rock banger. This is so much gonna be a fucking punk rock fucking banger. I'm so about to deep throat the fuck out of my vocal cords right now. Fuck. I originally recorded a whole rap album in the span of 24 hours and scrapped that, and then I started working on this project. As I was making this project, I felt conflicted. I wanted to do rap music, but I still wanted to continue with, you know, my pop punk rock stuff that I was doing, right? And there was the idea of, hey, okay, I make a rock album and I make a rap album, but I felt that would clearly make listeners confused, and it would just be weird, right? It would just be weird. I started releasing music under the TenTillDeath name at the end of 2023, and some in 2024, but it wasn't until the very end of 2024 where I started getting serious about, expanding, about world building. I just got home from work and it's like 3 a.m. And look at this shit, y'all. This is what I'm fucking eating for my fucking dinner, bro. It's It's a fucking what? What's this shit? Chicken fucking salad sandwich with some basic ass vegetables. Look at that dirty fucking microwave. Look at that dirty fucking microwave, bro. I need to fucking clean that shit. I made an update to our little recording studio. I got all my books and crap over here. And look, we got our mattress in here. I know, right? Pretty fucking cool. And yeah, we kind of just finished recording. I'm gonna call it Peaceful Revolution for now. What's crazy about this song is I was listening to a band, or I guess you could say a music duo, called Hers, and they had this very nice acoustic sound. Dang, you know, I need to use that sound. I need to sample it. And I had a different idea in my head, but as I was making this instrumental for this song, it came out sounding so bliss, so beautiful, so grassroots soundish. I have to make a song about peace. It just felt right, like, you know, right there in that moment. Everyone wants peace. Kind of inspired by Michael Jackson and Living Color. But yeah, we made some new fucking changes and shit. But no one wants to die. Very, you know, remind everybody of who they are song. That we all bleed the same. We're all the same at the end. But at the end of the day, you know, there's suffering all around us. It might, you know, the system might not be perfect. The system might not be perfect, but people are still dying. People are still hurting. People are still bleeding. I remember, you know, the first time I performed on stage was probably back in 2024, and it was at a karaoke bar, and I was singing Barbie Girl. As we were building our audience on YouTube, on TikTok, and our fan base, you know, we started doing live virtual concerts, and I never thought, you know, I would be doing something like that. Okay, oh no. Television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones you meant to follow. And I remember not too long ago, we ended up doing a merch giveaway. Oh my god, don't make this a tie, y'all! Don't make this a tie! And, you know, they really liked it, and I remember it was like right after I got off of work, went to the post office, and we made a whole comedic, you know, vlog video going to the post office. Yes, sir. Woo. It's my fans that have really, you know, kept me going, you know. It's so crazy to see our growth this last year. By the time you're watching this, it is April of 2025, and I actually got off of work not too long ago. That's why I look like a whole hot mess. We hit 1 million YouTube views, and, you know, this is my way of giving back to everybody. So, I did a little drawing here, you know, thanking everybody for 1 million views on YouTube, and I wrote a ton of names down here. So let's, you know, start looking at the names, and we'll shout them out. And if your name's not on the list, then, you know, just drop a comment below. I couldn't get everyone to fit on this one page, but it is a lot of names. So shout out at TX2 Army, shout out at Trad Cats Art, shout out at Young Wishes Official, shout out Delaney Brewer 273, shout out TX2 Fan for Life 2024, shout out at Fruit XXI, shout out Frank Rico, I can't pronounce that last part. Shout out Monster Energy, Triple X. Shout out Geo is cool. Shout out Purple Mau. I remember Purple Mau. Shout out Last Call, 3544. Shout out It's Rapper 17. You know we're always gonna shout out It's Rapper 17. Shout out I Stay SKZ. Shout out, and I'm gonna butcher the name, Margot. I don't know how to pronounce it. Shout out that Cold October, and there's a ton of other names, but I don't feel like reading the rest of the names. But if your name is right here, shout out to you. Thanks for bringing us to 1 million views on YouTube. Let's do another million. Let's hit 10K subs this year. I know we've hit over, you know, 1 million views easily on TikTok already. 1 million views on YouTube. Let's go. Thanks. Got a little bit of the last bit of our Kentucky bourbon whiskey. Got some Diet Coke here. No, it's Diet Coke. Gonna pour some in. We're gonna celebrate. So I want to thank everybody once again. I want to thank my little young TenTillDeathlings for the 1 million views on YouTube. Thanks for reposting our stuff. Thanks for joining our lives. Thanks for, you know, getting TX2 to actually check us out. Literally, thanks for everything. This one is for y'all. I never thought I'd actually make it to this point, you know, music-wise, social media-wise. I was literally destined to fail with, you know, what I was doing before. You know, I was reacting to people's music. I was rapping my ass off, and nobody would give me a fucking chance. And it's so fucking crazy. And here we are now. Here we are now. And it's so fucking crazy to see everything we've been doing lately. Live performances, merch giveaways, getting shouted out by one of the biggest fucking rock bands in the fucking world. God. Today, we're gonna be tattooing ourselves. And I got some wicked fucking killer stencils over here that I traced and added some little variations to it. Let's do this. Not so bad so far. Gotta work on it a little bit more. We'll probably add some shading. We'll see where we'll go from here. Let's see how this next one turn out. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I'll try to get a close-up if I can. A little irritated, but not too bad if you ask me. Quite strange to think about the controversies and shortcomings that I've had during my time under TenTillDeath. And there's been several. One of the first ones was probably back in around March of 2024. One of my TikToks got super big, and I remember at that time I released my self-published memoir, Trauma Ruined My Life. And because my TikTok blew up at the same time, and I was releasing my memoir at the same time, a lot of people went out of their way to try to cancel me, and a lot of people went out of their way to not even read that memoir I released, to not even read the Trauma Ruined My Life memoir, and started saying that I was an abuser, that I was making money off of abuse victims. So I remember that controversy right there. 2024, I was going through another mental health crisis. Things just weren't too good in my life at that point. I remember I started beefing with a former collaborator. It ended in a mess. It ended in a very big mess. It ended up into a point where I made about an almost hour-long special exposing this former collaborator as a pedophile, as a sexist, as a racist. Them bitches, see all these bitches, them is the same. They gotta see. Had to expose myself in that process. But it's so crazy kind of looking back at it, because back then a lot of people, were hoping that I wouldn't become more successful. People were really trying to silence me and thinking, they get a win on me. But you know what they say, the best form of revenge is success. Last night we recorded the final song for this album. And today we are going fucking camping. Woohoo! Man's literally crip walking, he crip walking. He's stuck. I decided to bring my doggo with me. And we're going hiking. I have all this freaking weight on my back. I literally have that. Don't get me started on all the other crap I got. This shit's heavy, but we're hiking. We're gonna find a nice place. We're gonna set up camp before it gets dark, because it's about to get dark. Hopefully set up a fire. Revert back to monkey. Nature is beautiful, y'all. Just look at that water flowing. So we got the camp set up, and we even got the fire going over here. Look at that yumminess. So it's a nice rice with tuna, and it's mixed with the sweet Thai chili sauce, and it's really good. So we're cooking right now. And yeah, it took us a while to set everything up, It's just been wow. It's so crazy where we've got on this journey so far. It's so crazy. Here's hoping, I'm hoping we can continue growing. I'm hoping we can become even more popular, even more famous, because I feel like we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work and a lot of change to make in this world. And I don't plan on going down anytime soon. So until next time, this has been TenTillDeath. Peace. check this out, y'all. Oh.
Go. Hey.